Bonjour tout le monde. Je suis très contente d'être avec vous aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui, nous allons explorer les vêtements et les couleurs. Nous allons décrire les vêtements. Hello everybody. I'm very happy to be with you today. Today we're going to be exploring clothing and colours, and our learning intention for this video is to be able to describe clothes. Before we discuss colours, I'd like to do a quick recap about articles. Now, articles in English are words like the and a. We use them before a noun. In French, we know that we have three ways of saying the. We have le for a masculine singular noun, la for a feminine singular noun, and les for a noun which is plural. And if we want to say a or an, we say un for masculine singular, we say une for feminine singular, and if we need to say some in front of a plural noun, we're going to say des. So why is this relevant to talking about clothing and colours? Well, just keep in mind that we use the or le, la, and les for specific items of clothing, and un, une, or des for non-specific items of clothing. Let me give you an example. So if I say, are you going to wear a black dress this evening? It could be any old black dress. But if I say, are you going to wear the black dress that you bought at the shops last weekend? Then that's going to be referring to a specific black dress. We're going to use the for specific items of clothing and a for non-specific items of clothing. Now let me introduce you to the main point of this PowerPoint, which is learning how to use colours to give more detail about clothes, to describe them in more detail. Now I'm going to pronounce these colours for you, and you're going to repeat after me. So we're going to start off with red, rouge. Répétez. Rouge. Orange. Répétez. Orange. Blanc. Répétez. Blanc. Gris. Répétez. Gris. Bleu. Répétez. Bleu. Violet. Répétez. Violet. Jaune. Répétez. Jaune. Vert. Répétez. Vert. Marron. Répétez. Marron. Rose. Répétez. Rose. Noir. Répétez. Noir. Now we're going to look at how we can use colours to describe items of clothing. Okay, first of all, colours are adjectives, they're describing words. And like all adjectives in French, we need to match them with the noun. They need to agree with the noun. In this context, our items of clothing are our nouns, they're our things, and our colours are our adjectives, they're our describing words. So when we say that the colour needs to agree with the noun, what we're saying is that we need to know whether our item of clothing is classified grammatically as masculine or feminine, and whether it's singular or plural. And we know that a noun in French which is plural usually ends in an S, occasionally with an X. So let's look at some examples to get the pattern. So for masculine singular, I've got the example, un pull noir, a black jumper. Now, noir is the word black, it's our adjective, and we don't need to change it in any way to match pull because pull is masculine singular. However, for feminine singular, we've got the example, une robe noire, a black dress, and we can see that we've added an E to the end of the adjective noir, black. So it matches the dress, une robe, which is feminine. For masculine plural, we've added an S to the end of the word noir. So we've got des pulls noirs, some black jumpers. And for feminine plural, we have added an ES to the word noir. So it agrees with the word robe. Des robes noires, some black dresses. So let's recap those rules of agreement of how we get the colours to match our items of clothing, how we get our adjectives to match or agree with our nouns. So we need to add an E to the end of the colour so it can agree with a feminine noun. That is, unless the colour already ends in an E, a word like rouge or jaune. We're going to need to add an S to the end of the colour to make it agree with a masculine plural noun, unless the colour already ends in an S, such as the word gris, grey. And we need to add ES to the colour for feminine plural nouns. There's a few exceptions we need to keep in mind. So the word blanc, which is a masculine form of the colour white, becomes blanche in its feminine form. The word violet, which is the masculine form of violet or purple, becomes violette in its feminine form. And lastly, the colour orange, which is also a fruit, and marron, which is also a chestnut, are what we call invariable. It means that their spelling does not change. They don't ever agree with the noun. It's because these two words are both nouns, things, as well as adjectives describing words at the same time. So, important thing to remember is orange and marron, no agreement. Okay, the final thing we're going to explore is word order. That is, where do we put the colour in a sentence in French? Well, in French, adjectives of colour are always placed after the noun in a sentence. So our colours are going to go after our items of clothing. Now, this is funny because it's maybe the opposite of what you're thinking. It's the opposite of English word order. So in English, we're going to say, I'm wearing a blue shirt. So we're going to put the colour before the item of clothing, our noun. But it's the opposite in French. We're going to say, je porte une chemise bleue. So literally in French, what you're saying is, I'm wearing a shirt blue. It's the opposite way around, the word order. And you can see that because I've put our nouns, our items of clothing, in purple, and I've put our colours in blue, and you can see that they switch places in French in comparison to English. Prenez vos stylos. C'est à vous. Okay, get out a pen and a piece of paper. It's your turn. You're going to test out to see if you understood the concepts we've looked at to do with getting colours to agree with our nouns in French. I've got 3 images here and you need to complete the sentences. The first one is, je porte un ... and you're going to say, the item of clothing and the color, and you're going to match the spelling of the color with the item of clothing according to whether it's masculine, feminine, or plural. And hint, remember to the beginning of the slide show, un means it's masculine singular. So the second one is je porte une, so that item of clothing is going to be feminine singular. And the next one is going to be plural. Je porte des ... And if you've forgotten, socks are feminine in French. In fact, they're feminine plural because there's two. All right. Finish those sentences on a piece of paper. In the meantime, pause the video. Ok, voici les corrigés. Here are the answers. Ok, numéro 1. I am wearing blue shorts. Je porte un short bleu. It's masculine singular, therefore we didn't need to add any E's or S's to bleu, our color or our adjective, because it already matches short, our noun. Numéro 2. I'm wearing a blue dress. Je porte une robe bleue. Now, robe is feminine singular. That means we need to add an E to the end of bleu, our color, so it matches our item of clothing. So our adjective agrees with our noun. Numéro 3. I am wearing blue socks, or I'm wearing some blue socks. Je porte des chaussettes bleues. Now, chaussettes, socks, is feminine plural, so we need to add es to bleu so that our adjective, our color, matches our noun, which is our item of clothing, our socks. J'espère que vous avez bien compris. I hope that you've really understood this well. Merci beaucoup de votre attention et je vous souhaite une très bonne journée. Thank you very much for your attention and I wish you a wonderful day. Au revoir et à bientôt.